and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Oyinka Solajinadu. Welcome to Dr. OJ Speaks. If this is your first time on this channel, I'm going to ask you for a huge favor. Subscribe to my channel and turn on your notification button so that every week when we upload our videos, you will be the first to know. This week we're going to be resuming our conversation about King of My Gifts. Yes, King of My Gifts, the book and the workbook. My guest this week is going to be discussing his foreword written by him about the book. He's read the book, he has an opinion about the book, but most of all, I want you guys to hear his heart on the book and why it is super critical and important for you, if you have not done so, to go straight to Amazon.com and purchase this book. King of My Gifts will be available for purchase February 6, 2021. Yes, February 6, 2021. Today's episode of Dr. OJ Speaks was brought to you by HD Pro Global Beauty Institute and Body Med Spa. HD Pro Global Beauty Institute is a wonderful beauty brand that focuses on the med spa industry, providing trainings and certifications for beauty enthusiasts, certifying in body sculpting, permanent makeup artistry, and aesthetic professional makeup artistry. They also offer all these amazing services, including post-op lymphatic drainage massage. Make sure you check them out at hdproglobal.com, and don't forget to come back and thank us because their service is exceptional. Now, stay tuned as I bring my guest in the studio. Thank you. Welcome, Mr. Tunde Soboyejo. Welcome to the show. Welcome. I have slightly introduced you, but I would love for you to reintroduce yourself. Welcome to Dr. OJ Speaks. Thank you for being here today. And I am super excited and I'm kind of giddy trying to get into this conversation about King of My Gifts, but we have to let our audience know about you. So please introduce yourself to our audience and let's get this conversation going.
Yes, thank you for having me on the show. My name is Tunde Soboyejo, and I have Nigerian parents, born and raised in England. Um, Moved to the US about 4 years ago. I currently live in New York City, but my family live in Houston, Texas. So I constantly travel back and forth. Um, Aside from that, I'm a huge fan of Liverpool Football Club, and that's who I am.
Really, Liverpool, really? Anyway, I'll tell you
Huge.
the club that my family members support. Not me, oh, it's my family members, so don't throw shade. Arsenal for life. As much as
Well,
they'll be losing, but as we are family members and we die there. Let's just put it like that.
I have no problems with Arsenal fans.
You
No
know?
problem.
Okay,
No, not
good.
at all. Not at all.
Thank you for coming on board. So, what a lot of people don't know is the fact that you and I have known each other for pretty much over 3 decades of our lives. And we've kind of gone back and forth, and we've now come full circle. And when I reached out to you, we reconnected on the alumni group of our high school and reached out to you and said, "Hey, Tony, I'd love for you to write a foreword to my book." You had a bit of a apprehension, let's put it that way, and you sort of protested a little bit, and you felt like not writing the forward was not something you could do. And I sort of tried to wring your hand and say, well, you have to do this for me, even if just for the fact that you've known me for most of my life. I mean, why were you so apprehensive about writing a forward for this great book?
I think that's exactly what it is. It's a great book. If it wasn't a great book, if it was just a random book with just random gossip inside it, then I would be uh, I wouldn't have any apprehension about it. I would just think, well, it's just a nice gossip manual, then yes. But because of the content of the book, um, it was the content was a serious content that talks about life and the process. And I don't want to get into that just in case. I don't want to delve too deep into the content of the book right now. But it was a real time for me to stop, think about my own life when I even read the book. And that really made me ask myself serious questions, the contents of the book. So that naturally gave me that concern that, oh my God, really? Why me? Where? How? But honestly, it was a real privilege to write. And when I came round to it, I thought, wow, this is awesome. And I'm really pleased to be part of your journey with doing this. So yes, thank you for asking me to do.
Thank you so much. And you actually brought some added value to the conversation and to the project itself. Because after we had that initial conversation, I went back and I also had to think a little bit deeper about the project. And I said, well, rather than just having the book itself, it would be an amazing thing if, given the feedback you gave me, if we had a workbook that could help people not only read about my story and read the book, but be able to walk through some steps to navigate their journey into purpose as well. And that's why King of My Gifts, your journey into purpose, was birthed. So thank you for your apprehension and thank you for your feedback, because it really helped to push me a little further down into the project. And we're doing some additional work as well after this is launched and put out in the public. All right, so let's get into the conversation about the book itself. Your forward. What was going through your mind when you wrote the forward that you did?
Well, so well, firstly, I just wanted to comment on your last comment over there and say, well, um, any way I can be of use or help, I'm very, very happy to do that. So,
Thank you.
um, and I think that, just being able to sort of give some feedback is one thing, but for your ability to think outside the box and go and put together something like that, I say that you should take all the credit for that. So thank you and well done for
Thank
doing
you.
that. What was I thinking during the forward? I thought, how can I do this some justice? I mean, reading the book and looking at how well you put the book together from all the different, stages that you described it well. I thought, how can I write something that explains our history, where we've come from, the content of the book slightly, and just my own takeaway from it. And so, it took some small research on my side because of how am I going to write this? And how can I write this and not embarrass you? but
Thank you.
um, but nonetheless, I went away, I thought about it, I wrote it, and I hope that it does the book some amount of justice that I feel the book more than deserves.
Yes. And thank you. Yes, your forward was very, very candid, straight to the point. And we did something extra with it on the book where we actually took an excerpt from your from what you wrote and we put it on the back of the book. So that is something that we're very, very impressed about. So thank you so much. Now, looking at the book and the relevance of what is going on in the world today. I mean, 2020 happened, and for me, it just kind of took the world in a fast forward spin, and people had to play catch up with, oh my God, there's so many things that need to change, so many different things that need to happen in my life in order for me to function adequately in the new world that we're living in. And so, how do you see this book helping, hopefully, a lot of people figure out that dynamic for themselves?
Well, the current COVID-19 crisis that we are experiencing across the world, across the globe, really, is something that it brings to the forefront of our minds where we are as individuals and, as a collective as well. For me, one of the things, that I work in healthcare and I work frontline in healthcare, so I constantly I've seen how this has devastated lives and I've seen how this has made changes to the way that we do things from a day-to-day basis. I think the amazing thing about this book is it really kind of focuses your attention on your life and where you are currently.
Mm.
Um, I have found that right now we have the world we live in has become something that we need to ask ourselves serious questions about what our goals and what our objectives and where we are driven to go to. And I think that's a thing that this book helps you to, this book highlights all those things for you, teaches you step by step where you need to go. And I think right now in the world we live in, you need that kind of guidance. You need that kind of feedback about your life. You need somebody that can sort of give you some sort of encouragement, someone that can sort of guide you through a process that is very well documented. And I think that's what this book does very well. I feel that now more than ever, everyone needs to stop and ask themselves what they're doing and where they're going. Because there's no guarantees what's going to happen. And that's really where we are right now. There are just no guarantees. And this book really helps you prioritize the most important things for your life.
Yes. You talk about no guarantees. And one of the things that we face, at least for me on my end, is being an entrepreneur, having to fend for yourself. And basically, like I tell people, I eat what I kill. If I don't kill, I don't eat. You have to, it's true though. If I don't kill stuff, I don't eat. It's like you're a hunter. You're going out every day and you have to really navigate and have a very solid plan. Sometimes those plans don't even pan out the way you thought that they would. All right. So when you talk about what you're talking about, I just felt like for me as an entrepreneur, it's very critical. It became very critical for me to not only share my journey and my story of I had to try several different things to figure out where I would find the most comfortable positioning for me to be most successful. Initially it started from a drive of I need to make money. I mean, we are raised in that environment, in the system where it's like your pocketbook, your bank account balance, your lifestyle is a complete, it has to be, it's synonymous to you being successful. So that was my drive. People needed to see. It wasn't just hearing it, but they needed to see me walk the walk and talk the talk. But on that journey of me trying to figure out and trying to earn more money, I had to try so many different things. I worked as a full-time teacher. I went on and got all these degrees, hoping that, the more education, the more expertise, the more specific I got in my education, the more I was able to command those dollars or whatever currency. But I quickly realized that that was just, it was more like a mirage. The closer you get, the farther away it became.
Yes.
And then eventually I came full circle and came to the point where I felt like, okay, I'm chasing all these things. I'm trying to do all of these things. And I am doing the best I can with all that I know to do, working hard, just putting in my best foot every single day. Why in the world is my success still so elusive? It's just like something that I dreamt of, but I could never take a hold of. And it occurred to me that I was just doing things for the wrong reasons, first of all. And
Yes.
I wasn't really tapping into the innate person that God created me to be. I was overlooking those true things that would eventually get me to where I needed to get to with less struggle, by the way. Because things that we often take for granted, like we assume it's a hobby or it's just who I am. A lot of people say, oh, that's just the way I was born, that's just what I like to do. I've always been that person. Math comes, numbers are easy for me. It doesn't mean I can make money with numbers, or talking is easy for me. It doesn't mean that's what I need to do. I need to go get that job that maybe, I mean, I've done IT certifications, believe it or not. I've done several different things because they said, oh, that's where the money is. That's where people are making money now. Go there, go there, go there. And then me too, I ran like a little mouse. You know,
We've all done that. You
we,
know, we have all done that. That's the beauty of it all. It's part of your journey,
yeah,
and you find all the different stages around your journey and who you are. But slowly, the real person that is underneath all of that finds a way eventually at some point to kind of shoot out and blossom. And but you have to allow that to happen.
you
You
have
know.
to. I had to hit rock bottom for me to get to that point. I had to hit rock bottom where I'm like, you know what? I I am sick and tired of just running everywhere. And I got so tired of everyone telling me the next thing I was going to do was going to be the best thing, and the next thing was going to be the thing that was going to help me make it. And I'm
Yes.
like, God, you cannot be this mean to me for me to really try to be like, seriously, I know you're a good, loving father. So tell me what I am missing. Literally, I had to get to that place. I'm like, you know what, Lord? Tell me what I'm missing. What is it about this life that is going to make it meaningful and get me to my goal that I
Yes.
am not seeing? And that was
Purposeful
when,
life, right?
yes, yes. And
Yeah.
that's when it occurred to me, and I was like, oh, I get it. And that was when in 2019, end of 2019, when I started working on this project. And it was like, you have to write this book. And then I started, and then I stopped, and then I started, and then I stopped. And halfway through the pandemic, it was like, oh, I have this project that needs to be done. And it is really relevant for such a time as this. And that's
Absolutely.
and that's when
Absolutely.
I decided to finish this and bring it home. So, yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So, today, what would you tell somebody who was listening to us or who will be listening to us and would say, why do I need to get this book? Tell me why this book would impact my life. What would be your personal recommendation to somebody to say, when we launch February 6, 2021, get out, go online on Amazon and order a copy for yourself?
That's a good question. I think regardless of where you are in your journey, I think this book has a place in your life. That's a good. I think regardless of where you are in your journey in life, this book kind of has a very well written process that regardless of where you are, you can pick up this book and it will add some value to your life. And I think that's the biggest thing I took away from this book. You can pick up the book, you can learn something about your current life, how you can get to the next stage, and I think there's knowledge is something that you can continue to learn and pick up something, and that's what I really found interesting. It really defines purpose. It really defines a plan and a purposeful life. It really defines having so I think for me, one of the challenges that I realized with myself as well, and I've seen it sometimes in other people, is that we have plans. We think of something we want to do. And
Yes.
unfortunately, what we don't do is what is the step? What is the next step? What is the next? What do I need
Mm-hmm.
to do? And have a purposeful existence in terms of a process that you are going to go through to
Yeah.
get from point A to point B.
Yes.
That's something that I just go. And sometimes I forget that there has to be a detailed plan. That's
Mm-hmm.
what this book does for you. This book gives you a detailed step-by-step plan of how you're going to go from where you currently are to a more purposeful existence. And therefore, I say, from my own little knowledge and experience in life, I say, go out there, buy the book, give it a chance. And I think you will definitely be blessed and you will learn something useful for now and even for the future.
Yes. Thank you so much. So, yes, you guys have heard it from my very wonderful childhood friend, Tunde Soboyejo. And honestly, don't take his word for it. Get the book and get started on your journey. Read it. Send me your feedback. I want to hear from you. Once you read this book, let me know what your thoughts are. I am very passionate about this, and I promise you that this is a project that comes from not just it comes from somebody just like you, a person who struggled for many years. I've been in the United States for over 15 years now, and I have been on that journey of trying to figure out where the trajectory of my life was going to be and finding the path to that pursuit of happiness. And what is it that we find in the United States? The pursuit of life and happiness and the success and the money, life and liberty, and all the things that this country promises us. I realized quickly that it's not just handed to you. You have to have a grounded mindset to even begin to figure out what that pursuit is for you. Or else, the alternative is the option whereby the system figures it out for you and you're in the constant rat race of life. My goal is to help as many people as possible get out of the rat race of life. And that doesn't necessarily mean quit your job and go start a business. A lot of people assume that that's what we're trying to say. It means whatever your purpose is, Live that truth every single day and be grateful and happy and just be content in the space that you're in. And that allows you to function well, better. You know, I was telling my son, just like a quick side note before we round off, we're done. Yesterday was just a very weird day, and I had to do a live, and I had to go live. My team needed me to go live, and I was like, y'all, I don't want to do live. I'm tired. I'm exhausted mentally, emotionally. And as soon as, I mean, the whole day was a drag for me. And as soon as I sat down in front of the microphone, the computer, and everything was set up, and I went live, I literally felt life just come through me. I'm telling you, it was weird. Like for like 30, 45 minutes, I was on air on Instagram and Facebook. I literally felt life in those moments that I was on air. And I got off, I was like, wow, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. You know, this is what I was born to do. And I enjoyed, as tired as I was, as soon as I got in front of the computer, in front of the screen, and I started speaking and I started talking about all of the things that I needed to do, I was just in the zone. I was happy. So get the book and make sure you find your purpose, because you don't know how much time you have. To be very honest, we all don't know how much time we have. And you don't want to get to the end of your journey full of regrets, not having lived the life that was created for you. And that's it. Thank you so much. Any last words, my friend?
Well, thank you for having me on the show. And I hope that the book launch is a successful is a success. And to everybody out there, thank you. And I hope you go out there, get the book, and thank you for everything.
Yay! All right, it's done. It's a wrap. Thank you so much for joining us again on another episode of Dr. OJ Speaks as we continue this heartfelt conversation about King of My Gifts. Don't forget, this book is going to launch live February 6, 2021. It's going to be available on Amazon, Audible, Kindle. So what's your excuse? You definitely want to get started on your journey into purpose by reading this book, and also getting into the workbook and seeing how I can help you with my own experience to foster your way to destiny. Thank you so much once again. Don't forget to tune in again next week as we bring you another amazing conversation with Dr. OJ Speaks. If you haven't subscribed, remember to press the subscription button and the notification button so you will be the first to know once our video goes live. Thank you and see you next week. Bye.